Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever been deep in a conversation with an AI? Maybe you're using ChatGPT, and all of a sudden it feels like it has no clue what you were talking about just 5 minutes ago? Yeah, it's a super common, and let's be honest, a pretty frustrating experience. You know the feeling, right? You're laying out this brilliant, complex idea, and after a few messages back and forth, the AI just contradicts something it literally just said, or it asks you for a piece of information you've already given it. And you're just sitting there thinking, is this thing broken? Does it have the worst memory of all time? Well, here's the really wild part that forgetfulness, it's not a glitch, it's not a bug. It's actually a fundamental limitation that's built right into the design of how these AI models work. So let's dive in and really unpack what's going on behind the scenes. The simple explanation for this AI amnesia is a concept called the context window. And the best way to think about it is as the AI's short-term memory, or its working memory. It's the absolute maximum amount of information the AI can hold in its mind at any single moment to understand you and figure out what to say next. Okay, here's a great way to picture it. Imagine the AI's memory is a small desk. You can put pages of your conversation on it, right? But once that desk is totally full, if you want to add a new page, your latest message, you have to push an old page right off the other side. And once that page is on the floor, well, the AI can't see it anymore. It's gone. Or, how about this one? Think of your entire conversation as a really long book. The AI is reading that book, but it's reading it through a tiny little window that can only see a few pages at a time. It can't flip back to chapter 1 when it's all the way in chapter 10. Everything outside that small window might as well not even exist. So how do we measure the size of this window? Well, it's not in words or pages, but in something called tokens. Now, don't get bogged down by the term. It's just the basic building block of text for an AI. For our purposes, all you really need to remember is that one token is roughly 3/4 of a word. So 100 tokens is about 75 words. Simple as that. And here's the kicker, the really important part to get. Everything counts towards this token limit. It's not just your last question. It's your very first question, any documents you've uploaded, every single response the AI has already given you, and even the new response it's writing at that very moment. It all adds up and it fills that window way faster than you'd think. This all leads to the obvious next question, right? If every AI has one of these windows, well, how big are they? And does the size really matter? Oh yeah, the answer is a huge yes. It matters a lot. And the sizes, they vary dramatically. Okay, just take a second to look at this chart. What you're seeing here isn't just a bigger number. This is a total game changer for what AI can do. We've gone from older models that had maybe a 4,000 token memory, we're talking just a few pages, to models like GPT-4 Turbo with 128,000 tokens, and Claude pushing an incredible 200,000. This is a massive leap, and it's the real difference between a simple chatbot and a powerful reasoning tool. But what do these big numbers actually mean in the real world? Well, a 128,000 token window, like the one in GPT-4 Turbo, is basically the same as the AI being able to read and process about 300 pages of a book all at once. It can hold that entire volume of information in its working memory. And then you get to Claude's 200,000 token window. Now we're talking about the AI being able to read a 500-page novel. Think The Great Gatsby read cover to cover twice, and having every single word instantly available. This is the kind of power that lets modern AIs tackle unbelievably complex jobs. And this little technical detail, it's not just for show. It directly determines what these tools are truly capable of. A small window is fine for a quick question and answer, but a huge window, that unlocks entirely new possibilities for complex, long-form thinking. So for you, this means an AI with a big context window can chew through a dense 50-page legal contract and actually find the connections between different clauses. A software developer can feed it an entire program to find one tiny bug. It can read a massive email chain and summarize it without forgetting what the first email was about. Now, it's also worth pointing out that using these bigger windows can sometimes cost more, which is why it's often a premium feature. Seriously, understanding this one concept, the context window, it's like getting a secret user manual for your AI. It shifts you from being frustrated by its limitations to being empowered to work with them. So let's talk about how you can use this knowledge to make your AI chats way better, starting right now. Okay, here are 3 super simple strategies. First, always lead with your most important info. Put it at the beginning of your prompts so it stays in the recent context. Second, if you're in a really long chat, just ask the AI to summarize our conversation so far. This forces it to refresh its own memory. And third, if you have a giant task like analyzing a 1,000-page book, break it down. Feed it to the AI in smaller chunks that actually fit inside its window. So if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. The context window is the AI's memory ceiling. That's it. It is not infinite. And knowing where that ceiling is for whatever tool you're using, that is the absolute key to getting the most out of it. So the next time you sit down to use an AI, you're not in the dark anymore. You get it. You understand its most fundamental limitation. So my question to you is this. Now that you know the AI's limits, how are you going to work with it differently? Thanks for tuning in.